Hello, welcome back. It is Jack Mack, High Top Sports, Georgia. Got a lot to cover as the Dogs fall short in Oxford, 28-10. Jackson Dart, Lane Kiffin stormed the field on us. It was not a pretty sight Saturday evening. So we're going to cover what went wrong, what we can maybe adjust going forward. If anything, seems like we're pretty stuck into this 7-on-7 drop back and pass 50 times, which I'm not a fan of, if you can't tell. But gonna cover some variations we can throw at him. Sorry for last week. Had a pregame analysis of what we could have done, and let's just say Georgia did not do it. Had some technical issues, couldn't get it to drop, but let's just say had some brainstorming, and I'll mention it in today's show about how we can get Carson Beck single again, back when he was balling. Because this girlfriend, I mean, I can see what Carson Beck looked like last year. No Cavender. This year, Cavender, no bueno. So got some ideas to maybe throw a wrench into his relationship status. All jokes aside, we got a serious issue on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Georgia's resorting to throwing screens 75% of the time. I know I was one of the biggest proponents of starting to throw more screens because Carson can't protect the football, but against better teams with similar athletes, it's ugly. It's ugly when you're throwing 2-3 screens a drive and they're going for nothing or losses. So we'll start there, and we'll stay primarily on the offensive side of the ball with what we need to do differently. Shows brought to you by BetUS. Going to have another upset pick for next week on the SEC preview show with JT. Had one Georgia Tech hit this week, so got another long shot going to throw at you at the end of the show. But let's start off here with Carson Beck. The spotlight is squarely on him with how bad he's been playing football. I hope that he hasn't been looking at social media the last couple of days because it's been ugly. He didn't only threw one interception, but what did he have this time? Fumbles. If it's not the interception, it's the fumbles. Carson Beck smiling on the sideline. It's just everything that you do not want to see out of the starting quarterback of Georgia. We're seeing with Carson Beck. He's laughing with Jaden Rashada, third string on the sideline. And I'll give a little bit of a pass with the weather situation, but Jackson Dart was playing very good. I mean, he was hobbling off the field after that first series, and he looked very good for the rest of the game. So, I'm not going to put much on the elements with Carson Beck. I mean, he's got to play better. I mean, there's a reason that we're throwing screen passes the entire game is because we can't trust him to throw the football down the field very often without, getting an interception. So Carson Beck, turn on one of his games from last year. It's bizarre. It's the weirdest thing in college football right now of how bad he looks from this year to last year. It's a different quarterback. I mean, he when he gets pressure, he just has his eyes down, doesn't start running, he doesn't make a decision, is what I'm trying to say. He just has his eyes down and just is in panic mode. There's no confidence. That's why he's trying to laugh away how bad he's playing on the sidelines.
Of course, this show is brought to you by BetUS. And when you use the code YouTube150 at betus.com on your first deposit, you get back 150%, up to $2,000. Now, you can gamble on NFL, college football, basketball, baseball. The World Series are coming up. We got college football at an all-time high. Heisman winners are going back and forth. Who's going to win the SEC? Who's going to win the Big 12? All kinds of things. You can literally gamble on anything you set your pretty little mind to. And on your second and third deposit, you get back 125%, up to $2,000. So be sure to go check out betus.com. Use the code YouTube150 to take advantage of these offers while they still last. Now back to the show.
Because there's no confidence. What can you do except laugh? Or cry. So he chose laughing. That's better than crying. But he's got to watch the film and someone in that building has to say, all right, Carson, this is what you looked like last year. Yeah, this was you. And then this is this year. You just show him that he is capable of being a good quarterback. Because, the people saying Gunnar Stockton is we got to turn to him for the rest of the season. There's a reason that Kirby doesn't even entertain any of these things. Kirby's the same guy that didn't play Justin Fields over Jake Fromm. So we're not going to be seeing Gunnar Stockton this season. I'm pretty confident in that. But someone's got to put some confidence in Carson Beck's head, show him what he was capable of doing, what he is capable of doing this year. I know he doesn't have Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, and I think that is maybe the bigger reason for this downfall of Carson Beck is not having the security blanket of Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey. When you really need them, 3rd and long, give it to them, even short of the sticks. They're going to make somebody miss. Not having really anything like that out wide is evident right now. I mean, Dylan Bell, we thought he can maybe emerge. I thought that he was going to be the guy. Him and Dominic Lovett would be a good tandem out wide for the Dogs this season, but it has turned out not to be enough. Another stat that I didn't even really know until watching the game this weekend is most drops in FBS. So Carson not playing good, throwing the ball to the other team. Our coaches don't trust him throwing these screens. However, we're not helping him either when he is putting the ball in catchable positions. Most drops in FBS. That is crazy. I did not know that. So as much blame as we're putting on Carson, we got to look at these wide receivers. They've got to help out a little bit. Our biggest pass play was Cash Jones out of the backfield, and that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. I mean, think of the touchdowns that we had against Florida. Screen to Dominic Lovett, HB choice route to Cash Jones out of the backfield. So no one at the wide receiver position is helping Carson Beck. So Cash Jones maybe gets some more plays queued up for these running backs out of the backfield. I think that could be a good idea if these wide receivers, tight ends, are not catching the football. I mean, tight ends especially, Oscar Delp, Nerdusky, the transfer we got, those guys can't catch the football. Lawson Lucky's been playing all right, but everything on offense right now is not gelling. Offensive line did not do a very good job of protecting Carson Beck. And it was just the weirdest thing ever with that game. We get a ton of pressure with first 2 plays, sack, 3rd play pick. And then we run the football right down their throat and get a touchdown, get a lead. I thought, this is going to be a long day for Ole Miss. But it did not turn out that way in any way, shape, or form. That pressure that we got the first few plays of the game, we didn't get pressure again. It seemed like it was kind of reminding me of the SEC championship game with Alabama. We go right down the field. I don't know if you remember running the football right down their throat, had an offensive lineman get injured, and then Alabama dominated the rest of the game. It was similar to that. We punched Ole Miss in the mouth on defense, finished it off on offense, and then it just switched. As soon as Dart came back in the game, it was all the momentum was on their side. Carson couldn't do anything to get it back on our side. No big 3rd down throws. Every 3rd down where I thought maybe, all right, this is a turning point, he would get sacked. So very weird to see that happens sometimes with this Kirby Smart Georgia team is we play very good the very first couple drives, and then other team avalanches on us. I know I say sometimes, very rarely. This is the first time we've lost to anyone but Bama in a very long time since COVID. And I can't say that stat anymore, unfortunately. But I just thought that was a very weird thing how we dominated the first 10 plays of this game, and then Ole Miss dominated the rest of the game. So, Bobo, I know we got to protect the football. That's why we're going to the screens, but we got to change the offense if that's our only avenue for success is just throwing these screens. I mean, the better teams, as you can see, are ready for it, and their athletes can shed blocks a lot better than the lesser teams that we've been playing. And not many lesser teams. I mean, our schedule is ridiculous, but Florida, the screens worked a lot better because we have better athletes. Ole Miss on the road, that's when that stuff starts not to work, especially when you don't have anything else to go to get just positive plays. So if that's not working, if the screens can't bail us out enough, we got to change the offense. I've been saying it for months, but can we get under center, give the ball to ETN, give the ball to Frazier? And we did run the ball a lot more in the beginning of the game, but it's out of the shotgun. It's not as effective. So, I mean, look at the Lions, Jared Goff. A lot of his plays in the beginning of the game, and he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL right now, they're using play action. They're getting him on the run, getting guys – couple yards past the line of scrimmage, getting him in space, putting the ball out in front, getting 5-6 yards. I mean, we don't do any of that. So I would love to see more play action under center. And I've been saying it for weeks, but everyone can see at this point, and we could say Gunnar Stockton, put him in there, throw him 50 times a game is the answer, but it's not the answer. What do you think is going to happen if Gunnar Stockton, who hasn't played a snap, goes against this Tennessee defense, throws the ball 50 times? He's going to throw 2 or 3 picks. It's going to happen. So I say we change the offensive formula altogether. Do more of a downhill running game that we're used to, some toss sweeps. And I mean, I hate doing this. I'm saying the exact same thing that I've been saying, but we have to try something. And I think the way to do that is going more under center and running the football with some of these guys we got. Defensively, we played good. I mean, when we got a turnover at the beginning of the game, we set ourselves up the best way we could in a hostile environment, punched them in the mouth. But it's asking a lot to, stop Jackson Dart in this offense on the road when your offense is not providing anything, 3 and outs. So it's hard to put anything on the defense in this game. I mean, the offense they didn't show up. Plain and simple, didn't show up. So defense, I am still very high on. I think we go back home at night to Tennessee, and our defense really shows everybody that Texas game was no fluke. So with that, as we go back home, Georgia's had a gauntlet schedule, but we're still in a position where we control our own destiny, and not playing an SEC championship game may be the best thing for us. I mean, we've already played Texas, Bama, Tennessee, Ole Miss. This year, I know we always want to win the SEC championship, win the Natty, but maybe skipping out on that day, get an extra week's rest, prepare for a home playoff game isn't the worst thing for us. So Dog fans was in Atlanta for the game. Dog fans were not happy, and rightfully so. It was a very abysmal performance we haven't seen in a long time. But look, we got everything in front of us. We got Tennessee coming to Athens between the hedges at night. Game day is going to be there. Look, I like our odds there. I like our odds at home against a freshman quarterback with Nico. I think we get after him, and I'm not confident in Carson Beck by any means necessary, and we're going to get into it more on the pregame for Tennessee show, but I like our odds. Georgia is still in a good position. Beat Tennessee at home, beat Georgia Tech, which that may be a little bit more difficult as they're playing well, but look, we're in a good position. 2 loss, get in, miss the SEC championship game, save that for next year. Go to the playoff, get a home playoff game, and we're sitting pretty. Get a BYU or somebody at home, and look, we're just fine. So, look, we're not just fine if Carson Beck doesn't figure it out. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago. This team will win a Natty because of Carson Beck, or we will not win because of Carson Beck. And everything still stays the same. I think Mike Bobo can put us in a better position to succeed, put Carson in a better position to succeed as we go forward. So it's got to be a team effort. It's cliche, but Carson is not on the same page with his wide receivers. Instead of going to smile on the sideline, how about you go talk to your wide receivers and get on the same page? So wide receivers, Carson Beck, Bobo, the blame goes on Carson Beck. He's the quarterback, but all 3 of them need to be better, a lot better. Bobo put him in a position to succeed. I say under center, run the football, play action, get Carson on the road, on the move. Wide receivers catch the football. Most drops in FBS, you play for Georgia. Go somewhere else if you're going to drop the football. Go to Tennessee. Go to Florida. Go to play for them. They got enough problems. They can deal with stuff like that. Georgia, you come to Georgia, you catch the football. So got some issues out there. Got to recruit better at wide receiver. Carson, expect some drama this week. We're going to I mentioned I would talk about it, but on the pregame show that I couldn't post because had some technical issues, we got to get some, hey, we saw Carson at Cutters this weekend with XYZ and FIMU. We got to get some action going, get Cavenders, get some mind games going, get her to break up with Carson, whatever we got to do. I mean, we can all see it. Carson's not the same guy with his Cavender girlfriend, TikTok star. It's not good for any quarterback. He's paid $3 million. He's got everything going for him. The guy needs some adversity in his life. So, look, it may sound silly, but I think a pissed off Carson Beck with his girlfriend breaking up with him, public embarrassment, that's the best thing the guy can need. Driving a Lambo truck around Athens. So be creative, Georgia fans. I mean, look, we got a lot of students. When I was leaving, we had the biggest freshman class in school history. So there's a lot of people. Put your brains together in the fraternities, whatever you got to do. But we need a pissed off Carson. I mean, I know I got to say the controversial thing here with, getting his girlfriend to break up with him. But look, We want to win a natty. Carson Beck is making millions of dollars already. So, sacrifice for the team. You break up with her. Be a man. I don't think that's going to happen. I think us fans have to step in. That's why I'm saying that. But in all seriousness, Carson, be better, man. I mean, no smiling. I mean, there's some things when you're not playing good that you can still control a little bit to not get people pissed off. And that's one of them, dude. Get to the sideline, start talking to your receivers, trying to fix a problem, not just smile and say, whatever, I'm just going to drive my Lambo truck around Athens when we get back. I mean, you can't do that, man. I mean, grow up. So Kirby, I hope he gets into him this week. But I think us going back home to Tennessee, we're still in a good spot. I'm going to get more detail on that game. But that'll do it for this week, for this reaction. Again, offense be better. Defense is right where we need them to be to win a natty. Fans, be creative. And we'll report back later this week, talk to Tennessee, see if we got any drama brewing. Comment section, tell me what you guys think about where we need to improve. Think if this is it for Carson, if he can't be the guy to win us a natty this year, if you think it's Gunner, let me know. But thanks for watching. It's Jack Mack, High Top Sports.